Forgive me for interrupting the great conversations that are taking place at each of the tables, but I think the time has begun to start a very festive and fun event we're going to have today. My name is Craig Cobain. I'm the Executive Director of the Mahurin Honors College, and please welcome to the Mahurin Honors College Spring 2022 graduation recognition. Congratulations to the class of 2022. Let's give it up for them. Let's try that one more time. This is family and friends. Let's get it out for the class of 2022. When we think about the legacy and the history of the Mahurin Honors College, I just want to always try to remember where we came from. And when I was first hired in 2005, we had 9 graduates that year. 9 graduates. This year we're going to be recognizing 160 graduates who survived the mint and mold, who survived me being gone for a year down in Florida on a fellowship, and I want to be careful how I phrase this, made it through 2 years of COVID pandemic. Congratulations to all of you for persevering. I remember early on when I interviewed in April of 2005 for the position of the director of the honors program at the time, the conversation I had with the president and the provost. We wanted to have a college that was a social justice model. The goal was to build a top 20 private liberal arts institution within the context of Western Kentucky University. You can look at the data, the quality of the students, the outcomes of our scholars. We have constructed that, and you are the reason why the Mahurin Honors College is as great as it is. But also, it is an opportunity to have a top 20 private liberal arts experience without having to invest up to $200,000 over 4 years. We want all young people, all families, to have access to high-end, nationally recognized educational opportunities without making generational changes in debt. And I think we've accomplished that. Our goal is to transform individuals so they go forth and transform society. That's what we see that each and every one of you are going to do. And a couple that has done that for us, Pete and Dixie Mahurin, were kind enough to invest in the Honors College, and if I may be so bold, to invest in each and every one of you. And they have helped transform the Honors College. That gift, and we have the name Pete Dixie Mahurin Honors College, was January 27th, 2017. I would like us, before we move on, just to take a moment, have a moment of silence for the honors scholars, the faculty, professional team members at WKU, and friends of the Mahurin Honors College who have passed in this academic year. So if we'll just take a moment of silence. Thank you. So each year, the team of the Mahurin Honors College selects several scholars to speak and represent the graduating class at the luncheon. Trust me when I say it is an exceedingly difficult choice for us to select from such a wide array of talented and accomplished scholars. In this room, there are literally scores of scholars who could be selected to be one of today's speakers. But unfortunately, we can only pick a couple. This room is full of future leaders, academics, international travelers, researchers, agents of positive change who will not only make their communities, but both society and the world a better place to be. And I am proud to be part of the process that helped develop each and every one of you. As I introduce today's Honor Scholar speakers, I want to remind you that there are, again, a host of you. We could have picked any one of you to be the speakers today. Although each of you may have different majors, experiences, different recognitions, and big dreams, you all share the same passion for service, academic excellence, and a zest for international connections and a drive for self-improvement. Our first scholar is an alumna of Greenwood High School here in Warren County. Today she is graduating with a Bachelor of Science in Special Education with a minor in teaching English as a second language. She has been selected for Teach for America and will be in the Piedmont Triad in the area of North Carolina doing the Teach for America program. I please ask that Kylie Bray come to the podium.
Hello. Before I begin, I would just like to say a quick word of thanks to my family for all of their support these past 4 years. You all are precious to me. I would also like to thank the Lord for the gift and the impact of WKU and the Mahurin Honors College on my life. Wow, congratulations, you all have made it. Our Mahurin Honors College stories all began the same way, the application. Now, I'm not sure about you all, but I remember exactly what I wrote about for my essays. One essay specifically prompted us to write about a narrative of our choosing. And of course, I decided to write about what my life would be like if I woke up one morning with hands resembling those of Edward Scissorhands. Some of us are wondering, how in the world did I make it through the honors program? And meanwhile, I am thinking, how in the world did I get in? But I'm forever thankful that I did. When Miss Suzanne Davis asked if I wanted to be a student speaker for the Honors College, I assumed she meant incoming high school graduates. And it was not until halfway through our conversation, long after I agreed to speak, that I finally realized what students I would be speaking to. I had already considered exactly what I would say to these students, and not much changed after I finally realized that I would be speaking to you. Why, you may ask? Because the Mahurin Honors College lives up to their promises. From the first day of our freshman year to the last bubble on the Scantron of our last final, the reflection of these past 4 years perfectly mirrors the words that sold our hearts and minds from the beginning. I would tell these incoming students that the Honors College will bring them a community of people who will challenge them and push them beyond their own limits. That they will find the most selfless people who will cheer them on and celebrate them in the most mundane of days and in their most spectacular feats. I would tell these incoming students that the Honors College would create an environment that compels them to cultivate strong relationships with professors and mentors, and that it would be these relationships that spur them on and contribute to their success far beyond the university. And lastly, I would tell these students that the Honors College would walk with them as they discover their passion. It would give them the space and the resources to explore and grow in zeal as they make it their own. Then after I would have said all of this, I would look at those students and say, now what? What will you choose to do? And just like now, I look at you all and say, now what? What will you choose to do? One of my favorite Honors College experiences, and by far the most impactful, came in a very unique form, the garden. I worked at a program known as Top Crops, and this program is a nonprofit that empowers adults with disabilities in our community as they learn to plant, harvest, and sell crops. The gardeners grow in self-efficacy as they develop new skills and relationships. Now you may be wondering, how is this garden so successful? And I would tell you, it's because the primary focus is on the abilities and the passions of each individual. Once the gardener finds what they enjoy, it is their responsibility to contribute. And only when the contributions of each individual are combined is the harvest abundant. This is much like our global society today. The Mahurin Honors College has graciously brought light to our abilities and has allowed us to discover our passions. The rest lies in our hands. How will you contribute so that the harvest is abundant? Now what? What will you choose to do? The second speaker I will be presenting today is an alumni of South Warren High School. Today he is graduating with a Bachelor of Science in Biology with a minor in Chemistry and has been recognized as the Scholar of the College for Ogden. In the fall, you will be attending the University of Kentucky School of Dentistry. Please welcome Dev Patel.
Hello, and welcome family, friends, faculty, and staff. Thank you all for coming here today to recognize our accomplishments. I am honored, moved, and slightly terrified. I'm such a stout people. Graduates, today is about us and celebrating all of our hard work with our loved ones while we reflect on who we've become. Our class has continuously been struck with hardship, which we've emerged victorious from. And today is a celebration of that. And looking back on these 4 years, we've had a truly unique experience proving that we're the most resilient class to have graduated from MHC. Freshman year, we started to make friends, made poor decisions, tried to live the early college experience, and we'll act like freshmen. I remember my freshman year, I was sprinting up the hill as I was late to class, and a year later, I saw another student do the same thing, and I thought to myself, freshman. During that year, we also suffered the Minton situation, which I'm sure many of you still vividly remember. Now, I didn't have to lose my roommate or move out because I commuted, but I too had mold growing in my bathroom, so I felt your pain. And in the midst of all that, we were trying to find ourselves. In Honors 251, a course required by all Mahurin Honors Scholars, I was asked, who are you beneath the surface? Where and how do you choose to show up in the world, and why? You can guess how ready I was to drop the course after such a intimidating question. I had no idea where to begin, but that's just it. We were just beginning. In the following years, we lost Helm Library, and then Garrett, a convenient food court for everyone at the top of the hill. We also endured through one of the most historic moments in a century, the pandemic. We woke up 10 minutes right before class, would eat breakfast during lecture, and stalk the Zoom profile pictures of our friends and crushes. I know you did it. Our new best friends became Quizlet, Chegg, and TikTok. And in 20 years, we'll be telling our kids about this, and then our grandkids, as they look at us in awe as we explain the virtual college experience in lockdown. And if that wasn't enough, as soon as things started to finally feel normal again, a tornado ripped through our town, canceling the most recent graduation ceremony. While the experiences were trying, we learned perhaps the greatest lesson much sooner than many, one that learned later in life would have left us filled with regrets. That lesson was to be grateful. We complained about campus parking and long lunch lines, but when the pandemic hit, we felt as empty as the halls did. Prior to the pandemic, I was so focused on my goals of going to professional school and becoming a dentist that I limited my time with others. I'm a first-generation Indian American, and I grew up unfamiliar with many extracurriculars, centering my life around academics and helping my family instead. My parents chased their American dream by running a gas station only 5 miles away from here. I worked as many as 50 hours with them, nothing compared to their 70 hours, translating and navigating things like billing processes and insurance policies. I squeezed in summer health programs and a practicum at the community dental clinic and a student-led medical brigade to Panama toward my goal of becoming a dentist. I was in the mindset that investing in myself would allow me to become successful, but I found out that investing in my community and cohort led to far better returns. The pandemic that defined our college experience taught me to never sacrifice relationships and opportunities for the sake of goals, but to marry them instead. Relationships are where we exchange ideas, build perspectives, and make an impact on others. And I got to learn that with you guys. When the Mahurin Honors College lost much of its community due to budget cuts in the pandemic, many of us stepped up as peer mentors and social planning board members and more to invest in the community we cared about, and it paid off. Through interacting with faculty and organizations in these roles, I learned professionalism, and also began to value and understand perspectives like I hadn't before. The trust and relationship I built with MHC opened up opportunities of all kinds. Nationally competitive summer programs, a trip to see Picasso's work in Nashville, and an academic exploration of the world's longest cave and more. Encouraged by the honors community, I explored study abroad. Like many of you, I navigated Plan B and beyond, trying to outrun the travel advisories that closed the door Gilman Scholarship had opened. What started as a plan to study in Kenya changed course to Hungary, and when that didn't work, I tried to go to Spain, where I actually saw more of Picasso's work. It was amazing, but as you could have guessed, COVID canceled that plan as well, but this time while I was already in Europe. Like we've learned over the past few years, the path was unfolding as it should, whether it was according to my plan or not. Ultimately, I lost the opportunity to live with the host family and receive academic credit, but I traded it for a personal growth adventure where I navigated 2 countries independently, and not to mention that I also got COVID but didn't tell my parents until a week later. Now, upon graduation, I go back to the question we were asked freshman year: who are you beneath the surface? Where and how do you choose to show up in the world, and why? Now we know the answer. We're resilient and multi-perspective MHC graduates who are ready to conquer the real world, including any global issues we may face. There lie many doors ahead of us that we can't see, similar to the ones we didn't see when we first got to Western. And our paths forward will be just as difficult as those that got us here, but we've learned to be grateful and to invest in the communities we put ourselves in. I hope you're nothing but proud of the student you've become at the Mahurin Honors College and confident that you're ready for what's to come. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Lindsay Houchin. I'm the Assistant Director of the Office of Scholar Development.
Good morning, I'm Susan Davis, and I'm the Assistant Director for Academics in the Mahurin Honors College. And I would like to start by thanking Deb and Kylie for representing their class and for agreeing very bravely to be the speakers today, because I did see the terror in your eyes. But I think you nailed it. I'm very proud of you. Can we give them another round of applause? Lindsay and I are here to co-host the awards. And the first award that we're going to be giving today is for the Mahurin Honors College Citizen of the Year. This award is given to the scholar whose career at WKU has personified the ideals of citizenship by investing extraordinary amount of time and energy developing collegial associations and community within the Mahurin Honors College. That description only begins to describe what this year's recipient has done during her undergraduate career. From the moment she arrived on the Hill, this scholar has not only carried, but reflected the values and the vision of the Mahurin Honors College daily. She became involved in the Honors Social Planning Board as a freshman, and later served as its president for 2 academic years. Likewise, she has been a student ambassador that assists with recruiting, known as honors toppers within the MHC, for 2 years, and she has served as a counselor at our freshman retreat, H4. Considered a leader among her peers, she has dedicated countless hours to building relationships and fostering community among MHC scholars. To give you an idea of her energy level, a week or so ago, the same week that she defended her own thesis, in just over a 24-hour time frame, she set up and hosted a reception for new Honors Social Planning Board members. She served on a panel at freshman orientation as an honors topper. She delivered tickets to scholars who were attending a dance performance, then decorated, attended, and led the cleanup at an MHC-sponsored dance. She is truly dedicated to service above self. While we look forward to watching her career flourish, it goes without saying that her ascent toward excellence will not only be counted by her steps, but by those she has impacted along the way. I'm getting emotional. This year, we honor Manzar Rezayeva as the MHC Citizen of the Year.
Congratulations, Manzar. Our next special recognition is for the Mahurin Honors College Thesis of the Year, which is awarded to a scholar whose thesis exemplifies the highest quality of research and writing. Any scholar who passes their CET defense, that's capstone experience or thesis, defense, with distinction may be nominated. The recipient of this year's award dedicated 2 years collecting weekly samples to track and record the natural evolution of antibiotic resistance caused by the presence of amendments fertilizers, and chemicals leaching through the ground into the water that serves as our drinking water supply. The project required collaboration with the USDA and the EPA, an exhaustive review of hundreds of background articles, innumerable hours in a lab, statistical comparisons of the data, and the implementation to use new analytical software. The recipient's faculty mentor, Dr. Jason Polk, describes the project as being at the master's level, if not higher, and indicates the research will continue to provide a basis from which other scholars will build for many years to come. This year, we proudly award the Thesis of the Year to Koji Barnaby.
Remarkable scholars are supported by remarkable faculty members who guide young researchers through each step of the process to create new knowledge and innovative solutions. We are honored to be joined by two such mentors today. Dr. Polk served as Koji's mentor, and Dr. Katrina Birch worked with another scholar, Mia Kendrick, who has also received the highest distinction on her CET. The Mahurin Honors College would like to ask Dr. Polk and Dr. Birch to stand and be acknowledged. Lastly, just a note, a list of all MHC Scholar Awards can be found on pages 4 and 5 of the program, along with the names of previous winners. Please note that some of our award winners are participating in this afternoon's event, so they will be announced at that time, but will be spotlighted on our website next week. Also, the CET of the Year Award, the Thesis of the Year Award, is in fact an annual award, so those that are eligible for that are also graduates from December. So Koji actually graduated and defended his thesis in the fall. And he was very polite and didn't ask a lot of questions when I cryptically invited him to come to yet another graduation, or at least he didn't ask me questions. Thanks, Dad, for dealing with that. So, in case you're wondering why Koji's not actually walking today, I wanted you to be aware of that. Thank you. Congratulations to all of our award winners.
Now we get to the next stage in today's event, and I want to say a couple words in recognition of our scholars before I ask them to step out and get into line. So, to start off, I'd like to say thank you to Dixie. Dixie allows me to read this letter, which is an application letter that Pete wrote for a job on September 19, 1967. He applied for a job with Hilliard Lyons, a job that he would hold for the next 50 years. I think this cover letter of application, has many important lessons for each and every one of you as future scholars. Dear Mr. Moore, I am writing concerning a job opening in the finance field. My name is Peter Mahurin, age 29, white male. I am in excellent health, not having missed a day's work in 5 years. I neither smoke nor drink. I am a high school science teacher with 6 years of experience. I am also also in the wholesale egg business on a small scale with 1 full-time employee and a gross of almost $200,000 a year. Now, if we put that in today, that's about $1.6 million annually. I do want you to notice Pete was way before his time. He had a side hustle before the term side hustle was popular. Moving on to the letter. I graduated from Caneyville High School in 1954 at the age of 15 and entered Western State College, predecessor to WKU, Bowling Green, Kentucky. My college years were wilder than most. Doesn't everybody tell that in an application for a job? My college years were wilder than most. After being in and out of school, I graduated in 1961 with a Bachelor of Science in Chemistry and Biology and a total of 6 hours in economics. During my time out of school, I worked as a steeplejack, painting water towers, grade school and high school teacher, and played poker for a living. However, I made the decision to quit poker and have not played in 6 years. Always want to be honest when you're doing your cover letter. Never be dishonest. I will give you some of my assets and liabilities, and if you're interested, we can meet some night or on the weekend. First, the assets. I am quick to learn. I have followed the world of finance for about 10 years. My favorite pastime when I'm in a town large enough to go to is to go to the branch of the New York Stock Exchange, watch the members, learn, and listen. Notice the efforts he went to self-educate himself, continue lifelong learning, something we've talked to all of you about, and he prepared for this move many years in advance. I am interested in business and business people. I can sell. My egg business is 3 years old, and like all businesses, highly competitive. I expect to work, and I like to work. I am dependable. I will be at work on time and not half asleep. There will be no clock watching. I can and will do things on my own, not requiring or expecting constant supervision. I am quite polite and get along well with people. Notice, high EQ. You need more than just a high IQ to be successful in life, and he's laying out how he has a high emotional quotient. I am married to an attractive 24-year-old preacher's daughter with an IQ of 140 to 150. She is a former high school math teacher and is now a guidance counselor. We have no children. How important your partner is critical to all the decisions that we'll make throughout life. Choose wisely. Now, not everybody's going to have the advantage of having Dixie as a partner, but I'm sure you will all do equally well. At this point, I would like to excuse our graduates to move to the back and follow Professor Davis, and you'll be lined up for the next stage. And I'm going to continue with the letter on the liabilities, because he did say he was going to talk about his liabilities. I have no rich friends or influential friends or relatives that I can bring to your financial firm, and no business to bring business in this manner. My background is rural, and I'm not in the country club set, the golf set, or other types of organizations. What's more, I have no intention or desire to be in a country club. The only organization to which I belong is the church. I am poor at remembering names. I can see where this may be a handicap in the financial world. I have never owned a share of stock in my life. However, my financial position is not bad. My wife and I make about $20,000 per year, and we have a net worth of about $25,000, all of which we have made ourselves. I plan to continue in the egg business and will devote part of my time to doing that. I need about $9,000 a year to start. I might consider a slightly smaller starting pay if the opportunity is present for advancement. I should point out that when Pete retired, he was senior vice president of the Hilliard Lions here in this part of Kentucky. And then he ends, of course, by thank you for your time and consideration for this opportunity. Now, as we think about cover letters that we will write in our future, I'm certainly not telling you that Juice Pete's is a perfect exemplar, but I think there are some valuable things to have in a cover letter, but more importantly in life. Continue to educate yourself. Remember those people who are around you. Follow your passions. Have a side hustle. And be yourself. At all times, be yourself. In whatever you do, be yourself. Again, before the class starts coming in, let me say thank you again to Dixie for allowing me to read that letter each year. I think it's a fantastic letter and has great learning opportunities for us. I would like to invite Zach Ryle to come to the podium, who will be listing off the names of our scholars. He's got the best voice in the Honors College and does a fantastic job of pronouncing lots of different kinds of names. Thank you.
And now we set the bar high for me to mess up names, so that's great. That's a good start. We will now begin with the presentation of the Mahurin Honors College's class of 2022. If you would, please hold your applause until each scholar has been recognized. Graduates, Dr. Cobain will be on the stage to give you an elbow bump. However, Professor Davis and I are available for elbow bumps, hugs, handshakes, whatever you would like. Family and friends photograph opportunities will be available after the event. We have our backdrop set up through the doors that way, and they will be available for you guys at that point. Would all MHC graduates please rise to be recognized?
It's tough lining up.
Yeah, we'll give them time, you know. We need to add an image into the 251 class lining up. That needs to be part of it. Bad dad jokes, sorry, we're just keeping going. Would the graduates please enter the room? There we go. We will recognize the graduates by college, starting first with our Gordon Ford College of Business. Aliana Casas. Andy Chang. Sean Dillon. Hope Eason. Julia Fry. Justin Geiler. Izzy Hunt. Liv Laws. Claire Lidner. Addie McDermott. Emma Muhlenkamp. Matthew Rofflo. John Thornhill. Isabel Tomita. Madeline Wilson. Ladies and gentlemen, the MHC graduates from the Gordon Ford College of Business for the class of 2022. We will now transition to the College of Education and Behavioral Sciences, starting with Nicholas Barth. Kylie Bray. Tori Hampton. Mackenzie Morris. Morgan Porter. Allison Reed. Elizabeth Sandlin. Tess Welch. Avery Wilmuth. Ladies and gentlemen, your graduates from the College of Education from the MHC's class of 2022. And finally, from our Ogden College of Science and Engineering. This may be interesting. It may take a lot of people over there once we get over there because it's a big group. So we'll start off with Patton Allen. Carmen Althoff. Elena Breslin. Madeline Broski. Gillian Brown. Riley Crawford. Chloe Dockery. Alex Driehaus. Kylie Eilers. Isaac Issa. Meredith Feller. Megan Hall. Dylan Harris. Chloe Henson. Ben Harold. Hannah Herman. Grace Hewitt. Evan Hughes. Cora Hurt. Mia Kendrick. Kayla Croman. Logan Lambden. Miriam Malik. Lauren McQuaid. Scott Nelson. Miles Newton. Stephen Paris. Dev Patel. Amy Pence. Laurel Philpott. Shelby Robertson. Manzar Razayeva. Austin Searcy. Reagan Suave. James Sims. Ellie Skeen. Elizabeth Smith. Lewis Storms. Lily Teeter. Jesse Thompson. Emerson Van Treese. Mason Wade. Zoe Ward. Ladies and gentlemen, your Ogden College of Science and Engineering's class of 2022. Making their way back, I'd ask that all MHC graduates please rise so we can give you all one last final round of applause.
Oh, I think we can give it up one more time. Each year at the MHC graduation receptions, Dixie Mahurin speaks to the graduates and the guests. So as Dixie makes her way to the podium, I would like to thank her publicly for her support of me personally, her family's support of Mahurin Honors College, their investments that have changed the lives of thousands of honor scholars and will change thousands of more in the future. On a more personal nature, her friendship and advice from both Peter and Dixie have provided, the advice that they've provided me over the years has been invaluable. And I give the podium over to Dixie.
I suppose it's still good morning. And some of you have wondered about the young people accompanying me, and one of them had to leave, but she accompanied me for a very good reason. When I was extremely young teenager, her grandfather took a chance on letting me come to school in the day when young girls, if something happened and they were in college unsupervised, it was just brutal for the college. Her grandfather allowed me to come to school, and because of that, you're sitting in the Honors College, otherwise you probably would not have. Her grandfather was zeroed out. And Catherine, quite frankly, I see every day, she works in athletics, as do I. And she's a brilliant student and quite a softball player. I get to see her every day. The young man who made sure I didn't break my hip getting up there is Spencer Bass. He's in the Honors College and a junior. He played 2 sports. He's also a brilliant student. He has a job and is planning a career in medicine. Plus, he still has time to go to church. I usually sit with him on Sundays. Today I want to talk to you about decisions, not just Dr. Downing's decision to let me go to school, but the decisions that many of you have already made and the choices you already decided on. Number one, you decided to attend college. Many people did not. Number two, you decided to attend the Honors College knowing full well it would be a very difficult task. Many of you have already decided on a career. And even a few of you have decided on a life partner. The making of wise decisions will determine whether your life is happy or not. From my father, I learned the importance of giving rather than keeping, giving rather than hoarding. He was a minister for 50 years, yet took no offering for himself. He gave the offerings to either the church building funds, Christian charities, children's homes, but not to him. He always said, if I need it, I'll keep it. And he never needed it. He stressed that we were stewards of wealth, not owners of wealth. When he died, 2 Marines in full dress uniform stood at the casket and saluted. And because there was such a crowd at the visitation, many people I did not know, and I asked them the same question I'd asked several times, exactly how do you know my father? And one of them replied, you didn't know this, obviously, but he paid for both of us to go to college. Otherwise, we could not have gone. The payoff sometimes is monumental, as it was in that case. One of the best decisions you will ever make is to look for gifts and talents in others. We know from the Bible that everyone is gifted. Every person on earth has a gift and a talent. But to be worthwhile, talents have to be used and not hoarded. When my daughter was in 1st grade, I tasked her with finding the talents of every child in her class. No one could be skipped. In the beginning, it was very easy. She began with herself and said, well, my talent is being good with numbers. I'm the best with numbers of anybody in my class. This was followed with Kim is the most helpful, JD is the best dancer, Amelia is the kindest, Casey is the best ball player, Lindsay is the hardest worker, Kevin is the funniest, Danny's the best reader, and Emily is the best singer. And by the way, Emily sang at my father's funeral and at my husband's funeral. Finally, of all the 22 pupils, there was only Brad left. She would come in and say, Mom, Brad has no talent. And I said, yes, he does. You're not looking. Okay. Took her 2 weeks, and she came in, bounced in the house and said, I found it. Brad has a talent. And I said, well, what is it? She said, he can jump really high. 6-year-olds are fairly perceptive. I realized when I watched Casey steal home at a baseball game, and that's really a hard thing to do. I watched Lindsay become a lawyer, Danny an English professor, Angie became a track star and a coach, Kim's a nurse, and as I said, Emily sang at my father and my husband's funeral. And I'm sure JD's still the best dancer, and I hope Brad still is the best jumper. And my mathematically gifted daughter, who I was convinced in my heart would certainly major in mathematics, came in at Thanksgiving after her first semester in college and said, you know what, Mom? Numbers are easy for me, but numbers are not my heart. I'm going to major in English, which she did. And she followed her heart, and she's been just fine. As you enter the next phase of your life, make the decision to look for everyone's gifts, like she did for Brad. Every person has a gift. Concentrate if you can. And all of you are very, very smart, so this is hard. Concentrate on what people have, not what they lack. Being a gifted learner only means that should you be a gifted learner, much is expected of you. But if you search for gifts, you will see some are gifted teachers, some are gifted healers, some are gifted mechanics, some are gifted students. Some are gifted builders. Some are gifted musicians. Some are gifted athletes. Some are gifted friends. But you need to sometimes hunt for their gifts. I will leave you with my grandmother and my mother's rules for a happy, well-lived life. The athletes I work with have these rules committed to memory because I remind them so often. Number 1, attend church. Number 2, practice kindness. Kindness is free. Number 3, if you make a bunch of money, gift it. Don't hoard it. If you have a great talent, share it. Let it be shared with others. If you have extra time in your life, use it. Use it for good. Be fearless. Take risk like Dr. Downing did on me. Take a risk. Don't be afraid to fail. Learn to measure one's gifts and talents, remember, not by what they lack, but what they have. My parting words to you are as you graduate. Your employers, your employees, your students, your patients, your colleagues, even your children will remember very little of what you say. They will remember very little of what you do, but they will always remember how you make them feel. Try to make everybody feel good. It's free. Thank you.
Thank you, Dixie. Thank you. Put a note to the team. I don't want to follow Dixie anymore. So each year in the Honors College, we present something that we call the key to the college. We do it at each of our May commencements. The key is an exact replica of the key that unlocks the gatehouse at Harlexton College in Grantham, England. It is an award that we give out to friends of the college who have exemplified the aspects that we try to develop in all of our scholars. A full description of that award can be found in your program. I would like to ask my friends Bruce and Diane Harney if they'll come to the podium while I read a few words about them. Bruce and Diane Harney personify the servant leadership and service above self culture that we develop among our MHC scholars. Both their sons, Bryce, class of 2015, and Brent, class of 2017, graduated from the Mahurin Honors College. Bryce is an entrepreneur and a professional magician. And yes, he is a professional magician. And Brent is a dentist serving the U.S. Army, and both currently live in Texas. The Harneys served multiple terms on our MHC Parents Advisory Council. The PAC has 3 committees: a special events committee, a recruiting committee, and a philanthropy committee. Although Bruce and Diane were active on all 3, they had a special passion for recruiting. I can say unequivocally, no Mahurin Honors College family has attended more MHC recruiting events or recruited more scholars to the college than the Harneys. They were regular attendees at various WKU, MHC, Lexington area recruiting events. And they also have an amazing track record of talent scouting, the term we use when people help us find future Mahurin Honors College scholars. In fact, as I was doing a little bit of social media stalking on them, getting ready for this talk, the number of thank yous from parents who say, "Thank you for introducing us to the Mahurin Honors College," our son, our daughter just got accepted. Our son or our daughter is going there. I was really surprised at how many parents have reached out. That's an example of what they have done over the years. Because of the time that they have invested in recruiting and the success that they have in recruiting, I have often joked with them that ethically, I really should put them on the payroll. Without a doubt, the Harneys personify both the motto of WKU, life, more life, and spirit makes the master, and the MHC motto, ascend towards excellence. I would like to thank the Harneys not only for their friendship, but for their service to the Mahurin Honors College over the years, and I'm pleased to recognize them with the 2022 Key to the College.
Thank you for such a warm introduction, Dr. Cobain. Before I begin, I'd like to say I'm honored, and I can't believe how I have the opportunity to follow Kylie and Deb. Great job on your speeches today. And like you said, Dr. Cobain, following Ms. Mahurin is just unbelievable. Thank you for your wisdom. I'll make sure that I pass it on. Diane and I would like to thank each of you graduating today for the opportunity to be here and to celebrate with you. To be quite honest, we have to pinch ourselves. We never envisioned ourselves as being a part of a prestigious institution like the Mahurin Honors College, or associated with a group of accomplished individuals like yourself. You all are scholars, after all. I like the way one author framed the trace of a scholar. When reflecting on the qualities of both the renowned Greek philosopher and the only ruling queen among the pharaohs of ancient Egypt, he said these individuals were true scholars. The author said they demonstrated commitment, persistence, innovation, leadership, and intelligence. As graduates of the Honors College, I am sure all of you share these traits as well. As for Diane and me, our journey to WKU, and particularly MHC, was quite unplanned on our part, and definitely a case of divine intervention. You see, neither of us is from Kentucky. Diane grew up in Tennessee. Please forgive her. And I grew up in Ohio. We moved to Lexington, Kentucky in 1991 after Diane supported me while I attended graduate school at the University of Tennessee. 2 years later, our first son, Bryce, was born, and 2 years later, after that, our second and last child, Brent, was born. Years later, when it came time for Bryce to go through the college search process, none of us had absolutely any knowledge of colleges outside the Lexington area. Bryce looked at a few colleges, and later in the search process, asked to come and visit WKU. In no time, we had come to visit the campus, and not only did Bryce like WKU and choose to attend, but Diane and I fell in love with the Hill. 2 years later, liking what WKU had to offer and wanting to be with his brother, Brent also chose WKU and MHC. From the very beginning, every single person we met, without exception, was so kind and welcoming. From the tour guides, to the people in the cafeteria, to everyone at MHC. The magic in the air truly enveloped us. Diane and I felt nothing like it at any other campuses we had visited. We just couldn't get enough of the people and the campus. After a period of time, we felt very fortunate to get involved as members of the Parents Advisory Council. A series of scheduled meetings and reasons to come and visit this pretty campus with all these nice people. What could possibly be better? It was through the Parents Advisory Council that we really got to know Dr. Cobain, who to this day is a personal friend of ours and is truly a friend for life. His passion for the Honors College, the students, and their big dreams pulled us in. We could see that we were given an opportunity to be part of something special, a place where students who really wanted to learn could do big things and get the support and guidance to pave their way to a very special and promising future upon graduation. Coming to the campus for the advisory council meetings, parent weekends, and football games gave us an opportunity to meet and enjoy a lot of our son's fellow students. Spending time with very bright students who were enjoying what they were doing, who were competing in academic competitions in their field of study, and taking the opportunity to see and learn about other parts of the world fueled our interest in WKU and MHC all the more. Getting to know the parents of some of the students on the Parents Advisory Council was rewarding in and of itself, as each of them had a very special place in their heart for the students and MHC. To all of us on the Parent Advisory Council, these students simply could not have chosen a better place to be. Appreciating MHC the way we did, we took every opportunity possible to help share the news with potential students going through the college search process. Sending them letters or speaking to them on the phone gave us an opportunity to talk about this special place called the Mahurin Honors College. When Dr. Cobain and members of the MHC team have conducted recruitment events in Lexington, I have always been grateful to be able to attend. Anytime I can hear and tell the story of what MHC can afford a promising student, it's a great day. As for our sons, MHC gave them opportunities to do and see things we and they never dreamed of, beginning with age 4 and immediately enjoying the friendship of like-minded students, to student teaching in another country, to learning about and swimming in the waters of the Galapagos Islands. When Diane and I compare our son's collegiate experience to students we know who went to other colleges in other states, we feel fortunate that our path has had us all landing at WKU and the Mahurin Honors College. Both our sons and Diane feel a personal attachment to WKU and MHC. It is because of the very, very genuine support and special relationships we all enjoy. I remember being at events like Parents Weekend and having the opportunity to shake hands with and speak to the then president of WKU, Dr. Ramsdale. That level of engagement and accessibility just simply doesn't happen on all college campuses. 5 and 7 years after graduating, our sons Bryce and Brett maintain relationships with faculty and Dr. Cobain to this day. For our family, our relationship with WKU and MHC is for life. It is truly an honor and privilege to be part of the Mahurin Honors College in any way, shape, or form. We look forward to supporting the college and you, all of you, however we can in the future. Please reach out if we can help you. And stop in and see us if you're ever in Lexington. Our door is always open. In closing, Diane and I hope each of you feel great pride in choosing the Mahurin Honors College and for what you've accomplished here, both in terms of academics, but also the relationships you have developed. After you've moved on to other educational endeavors or to begin your working careers, we encourage you to turn back and look at what WKU and MHC did to support you and find a way to give back, whether it be through monetary gifts or sharing with others about your time here or counseling potential students to take a long, hard look at this amazing institution. Thank you, Dr. Cobain, and all who made this very special opportunity possible. We are grateful to celebrate with all of you today. Thank you.
Let's say thank you once again to the Harneys for that talk. As we close here today, I want to ask all of our scholars if they will take the opportunity and follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram. We're on Facebook, we're on LinkedIn, and yes, we're also on TikTok. So I hope each and every one of you follow us and stay connected. It's important. It's important to us that we get to follow you and see all the things that you do and continue to cheer you on in your many, many successes. Please stay in touch with us. Also, I'd like to remind everyone that there's an area set up just outside the double doors for photos. If you want to take photos with family, friends, your favorite honors faculty member or member of the professional team. Also, as we've heard from multiple of our speakers today, be mindful of the support that you have received from faculty, professional team members, and administrators. Be sure to say thank you to your parents for their support. Say thank you to loved ones who have been there for you over the years. Make sure you say thank you to faculty who couldn't make it to today's event. It's important that they know how much their investment in you has meant to each and every one of you. I personally would like to say thank you to my team for the excellent work that they have done, especially with the unique circumstances my oncological team put for my participation today. Thanks for putting up with many of the difficulties we've had to address. I want to thank the Sloan Convention Center team for putting on a wonderful event today. And finally, I'd like to thank each and every one of you. Without a doubt, I have the best career in the world working with Mahurin Honors Scholars like yourselves, families like your families, and friends of the college that we've heard from today. I look forward to seeing how you take the transformational experience of a Mahurin Honors College education at Western Kentucky University and use that to transform the world, to make it a better place for all of us. Thank you again, and congratulations.